Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're recording right now, fellas. So I just thought since we was chopping it up, we might as well go ahead and record because people never get to see like the some of our conversations that we have, when we're just amongst us, So I just wanted to pause to say welcome to you, mate, Roscoe. I'm Roscoe. That's my man, Jovi. He has his Yeah, yeah, and that's my man Peeps down there. Whenever you get a chance, go over to my man Jovi's page, Jovi Wan Shinobi on YouTube, and check out his shows. He does a lot of great shows where he does a lot of reactions to like movie trailers and stuff like that. But of course, he'll
Good
get off
stuff.
into other things eventually. And you always see Peeps with me, and you'll eventually see Peeps on Jovi Wan Shinobi and all that stuff. But we were just chopping it up about a lot of different things that's happening currently. We started off talking about Black Adam, the movie Black Adam, which led us into a lot of different conversations. But I didn't mean to interrupt y'all, and what y'all was saying. I just wanted to, since we was here, we might as well record. But yeah, no, the latest movie, Black Adam, is just come out. Apparently, Jovi and Peeps have seen it, and I haven't yet, and I plan on doing so. And they've been trying to not spoil it for me, which is good. Even though I'm not much like people can talk about it, and I can still enjoy the movie, but like Jovi, I want you to first like share some of your thoughts about Black Adam and how you felt about it overall.
So to anybody out there, this is totally gonna be spoilery. If you don't want to hear it because you haven't seen it, you need to turn off and come back later.
Right.
But I don't know, from the very opening of the film, I think that they had a good premise. I can't take that away because they did go into the lore a little bit. I think they could have done it just a little bit more, but I think what they gave was sufficient because Adam, the way that they play it, you think that he's the boy in the beginning, the son, because he's being courageous. He's standing up to the slavers who are looking for these jewels to put into this crown to summon this demon god. And I like the subversion that they had in the beginning. And then they kind of flip it around later on in the movie. They could have gone with that trope, a young boy standing up, but then you find out that this young boy has to make a sacrifice because he gets killed and he gives that power to his father. I love that they had Jaimin Hunsu in there as one of the sorceresses. The wizard, I'm sorry, the wizard that the same wizard he played in Shazam. So they have that continuity going on. And so just like the way that they set up the beginning of the film, I really did like that. I just wish they would have did a little bit more because you find it hard to get emotionally attached to these characters because it's going so fast. Sometimes because I feel like later in the movie, it was stuff that was going on that they didn't need that they could have used in the beginning to create that emotional attachment with the characters and the audience. And I'll go from there. I'll stop there. I'll land my plane.
Okay. Okay. Peeps, what about you, man? How did you feel?
Joe V touches on a really good point. I I was of two minds, like we were talking about a little bit earlier with The Rock's performance. The Rock's performance comes off as very stoic, almost like Schwarzenegger from Terminator 2. It's like, he's emotionless. I got a mission. This is what I'm going to do. You get in my way, I'm going to rip your fucking arm off, which he does to a guy in the beginning of the movie. You know what I'm saying? And it's unlike, but he's on that path. But with Arnold's character, you see a more tenderness that comes out, even though Arnold's playing a machine in Terminator 2. With The Rock's performance, he's basically still stoic throughout the movie until you get to certain scenes. One of those scenes is where Jovi is alluding to. There's a statue of Black, well, what you think is Black Adam, but it's actually his son. And he goes there, and The Rock does a good job with like softening his eyes, bringing his brow down, and it's almost like he actually says, "I'm sorry." You know what I'm saying? And you really don't know exactly why he's saying it. It could have been multiple things. It could have been like he almost destroyed conduct, which he did. But it was more personal because he felt like he let his son down. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't strong enough to keep his wife safe. He wasn't, able to protect his son. So, he raged the fuck out. And now you juiced up on all of these powers. Yeah, I would probably be like, yo, anybody to get in my way, I'm lightning it with my hands, lightning with my hands, lightning with my hands. Everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but given his performance, you don't see a whole lot of that softness. So another thing that Joe V said is hopefully if we get more movies, we'll get a little bit more personality with Tep. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I enjoyed the shit. If you want to go in somewhere for 2 hours, forget about your cheating girlfriend or your cheating boyfriend or your second job, and just see some shit blow up, go see the movie.
I just wanted to add also that I think they should have had a little bit more of a learning curve for Adam's powers after he was resurrected, because he came out. They tried to say he wasn't at full strength, but you couldn't tell. He had the power of flight, and like Eric was saying, he was able to just shoot his lightning bolts and whatnot. I think they should have had a little bit of a learning curve, because you don't really see a challenge from his opposition. That would be something to grow on. You know, the one thing I hate in movies like this, where you have people with superpowers who are so OP, is that you don't feel like they're ever in real danger. You know, and it would be nice to see this person grow into that character. Like, can he do this? Will he do that? You know, even in Man of Steel, before Superman could, get the full ability to fly, he was running and jumping. And then one day he figured out, hey, I can take full flight. And I think this movie misses those particular opportunities.
Yup, dig this. And this is something that just how my mind works. When Adam is at the house, this is as soon as he wakes up. He gets up, he shoots a lightning bolt and hits the Superman poster, and him and the boy are automatically speaking English.
Right.
No, that was horrible. You shouldn't have did that. They should have been speaking in their native dialogue, like he was when he in the ancient world. And then he runs across somebody that's speaking English, and he says the wisdom of Thoth or whatever god, Egyptian god that he gets knowledge from, and now he's speaking English. You know what I'm saying? That would have been beautifully done to actually show his ability to use the different gods' power, other than just being able to fly and shoot lightning bolts. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a really wasted opportunity.
Yes, there was a lot of things that I felt like could have been done with this film, but it was all in the beginning. But Eric, you hit it on the head. Call upon the power of those gods, because they never really explained how those wizards, when they took the power, how he was able to get it back. Like, that's a big black hole in the script. You see what I'm saying? Do you remember the scene where they all surrounded him and said, "You're not worthy of these powers"? And then
I don't think they took him. I think they imprisoned
they just imprisoned him.
him.
Okay, because it seemed to me like they were taking the powers.
And you would think that by them being so powerful and what Shazam had already set up is that supposedly here we go down this dark hole now. That Tep was manipulated by the seven deadly sins, and he was the one that killed all of the other wizards.
Right.
This kind of retcons all of that and was like, no, they were able to imprison them. Now maybe he wounded them, and they with the last of their strength they did, but they kind of leave that ambiguous.
Right. So as you can see, there are obvious holes in this script, in this movie, from what they established in Shazam and what they played out on the screen here, which can be very problematic. I think the thing about it is a lot of fans of these properties are kind of forgiving, but with a good writing team, maybe they can show him in a sequel escaping, and they kind of, how do they do it? Like when you have like a Mexican standoff, and they do each other in. They imprison him, but he also takes the powers of the seven deadly sins. Because I think even in the movie they said something about the six demons instead of seven. There was an inconsistency there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you caught that, but I surely did. They said six instead of seven.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, because Shazam is already out there. It's a movie, and it's been out for 2 years. Like, it doesn't take. It's not hard to say, okay, this is what they did. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to feed off of that idea and keep it going. It's not really a hard thing to do, you guys, but I understand that this script was in development for like 11 years, so maybe they were using that same damn script. And by the time David S. Sandberg came around, he was just like, well, these movies don't really do well, so who's going to pay attention to it anyway? Let's just do something. You know what I'm saying? But we're paying
Right.
attention.
This this
Pepperidge
movie
Farm remembers.
this movie wasn't directed by Alan Smythe, was it? And Alan Smythe just so happened to be Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones, was it? Because a lot of the holes, a lot of the holes are indicative of something they would have done.
Oh my God! Please don't talk about those dudes, man. Don't talk about those dudes. That actually leads me to something else. Seeing that today, well tonight rather, will actually be the last episode of this season of House of the Dragon, and fortunate for Jovi and unfortunate for those of us who aren't Jovi. He's seen the last episode already. Which he'll be doing a show about on his platform. Like I said, go over to Jovi Wan Shinobi and check that out when he gets that uploaded. But yeah, he kind of cheated, you know.
What the hell? What screener did you get, man?
Yeah, no, this nigga be cheating, man. I know this. like
Okay,
I was talking to him earlier, and he like, yeah, I seen it already. I'm like, you motherfucker, you.
okay. Is it worthy of being this season finale?
I'll say this: it starts off slow. It's paced very well. I think it's worthy of a season finale for the simple fact of what's set up at the end. We all know what happens at the end. I ain't gonna say on here. Uh,
Yeah,
I'll 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 give a spoiler version for Black Adam, but not House of the Dragon.
yeah. Let me ask y'all this then, because we won't go into what you've seen already, Joby, but as far as all the other episodes, leading up to tonight, um, how did I start with you, peeps, about how you felt about this season of House of the Dragon and everything that we've seen?
I felt like the whole season was just a slow burn, but an enjoyable slow burn, because you had basically like the first maybe 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes of one cast, and then they brought in another cast to age them up, and then bringing in their kids. So you know what I'm saying? It was like all of this build up to eventually what should be an explosive ending. If I don't know how far they're going to go into the books, um, with setting up, because I know this is the beginning of the Dance of the Dragons, but um, I've enjoyed this first season. I mean, I've enjoyed it probably as much as I enjoyed the first season of Game of Thrones. Um, are there certain characters that I'm waiting to die? Yes, but it wouldn't be Game of Thrones without waiting for some people to die. You know what I'm saying? But shouts out to Patty, who played Veneris, King Veneris. I think he did an amazing job as the king.
Viserys, Patty
Is it
Constantine,
is it Varys?
Viserys,
Varys, King Viserys. How you say it?
Viserys.
It's
Viserys.
Varys. Okay.
I think he did an amazing job, man, with the complexity and trying to be a good man on the Iron Throne, and it was slowly killing his ass. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then Matt Smith. Come on, he started off as a complete jackass dickhead, and he still is, but he's our dickhead. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So, I mean, I can't complain. It's been a really good season.
All right. Jovi, what about you, bro? How did you feel about everything that you seen, except for that last episode we're
I
talking about? But everything else.
don't know. I didn't particularly like Viserys as king because he was too passive. And I know you have to be a little bit ruthless in order to be a king. He didn't allow himself because like when you when you get to the beginning of Game of Thrones, he's the one that's chosen to keep the peace in the realm because he's male. You see what I'm saying? They pass over Rhaenys because she was a woman because they knew that the other lords wouldn't respect her. And so it's like, why didn't that go off in his head when he named his daughter Rhaenyra as his successor? Because that's really why the Dance of the Dragons is taking place because of his decision not to name a male heir. Once he had Aegon, he should have been like, okay, hey, baby girl, I know what I told you. You know what? You can be the Madam of Dragonstone. You have this money, have your babies, you can marry who you want, you know, but I have to name a male heir for the sake of the realm. Because, like, I've been watching season 1 of Game of Thrones. And when Viserys is in the dungeon with Ned asks him, who do you serve? He says, I serve the realm. Who more so should serve the realm than the king? You see what I'm saying? To keep the peace. And I think that was his fatal flaw, is that he was too much of a man of his word. Sometimes in a position like that, you have to go back. Because like Eric was saying, he wants to see the carnage. Let me tell you something. Dance of the Dragon ain't no plot armor. Everybody die. There is no plot armor. Fights over the God's Eye, Dragonstone, Storm's End, you name it. This it's about to go down next season.
Yeah, no, I love what y'all said, and me, um, I feel what both of y'all saying about Viserys and his role, in the dance of the dragons happening and all that. He definitely should have been more Donald Trump than Joe Biden. But it is what it is. And I'm really just looking forward to seeing how it's all going to play out. I know that we have a little under 10 minutes left, and I wanted to kind of talk about this Kanye stuff that's happening recently. So I just wanted to get like some of y'all thoughts on, and I'll start with you, Peeps, about some of your thoughts about what's been going on with him and the media, whether it be the drink champ session. I know just recently, last night, I ran into a video with him and I forget what this goddamn anchorman's name is. I want to say he's a CNN anchor, but he was calling this guy boy, and all this and that. I wish I could remember this guy's name, but he was really going in on this guy. But just your thoughts overall on what's been going on with Kanye recently.
Kanye being Kanye. He the same nigga that said George Bush does not care about black people. He's that same dude, just with a couple of more zeros in his bank account. He's always been outspoken. He's always shot from the hip and never really thought about what he was saying. And he understands that publicity, whether it's good or bad in that particular business, is always good. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what type of endeavors he's trying to get into right now. But I'm kind of afraid for him because he's making a lot of enemies now. He's been not biting his tongue about a lot of different people. And, when you're in the business, you know a lot of other people's business. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if, honestly, he came up missing because he's going to say something that he ain't supposed to.
You
But
know,
Ye is just being Ye.
you know what's crazy to me before I let Joby say what he got to say. What it really feels like to me, all of these things that he's been saying lately, whether it be the comments about George Floyd or the White Lives Matter issue that was with him and Candace Owen. It really even the hat that he was wearing on a couple of these shows, because it say a 2024, and I'm guessing that that's the next time that we have to vote for a president or whatnot. But this really feels like a setup, all a setup for him to make it to position itself for candidacy, and we got just a little over 6 minutes left. But Jovi, give me some of your thoughts real quick about some of that stuff.
I've never seen somebody work so hard to self-sabotage. Kanye West right now, he's losing endorsements left and right. I know Balenciaga, who helps him make those ugly shoes that people actually spend money on, has
I hate those shoes.
pulled out of deals with him. An episode of LeBron's The Shop got pulled with Kanye West. He's losing endorsements. He got aired out by Charlemagne the God, and I don't know why Charlemagne did it, but I guess Kanye was complaining to another man that his wife was hanging out with a man, Pete Davidson, with a 10-inch penis. Why you would share that with another man is beyond me. And so Kanye, I think he's just out of control. They say that people, when they do experience mental illness, they get worse as they get older. It seems to me like he's on a Howard Hughes trajectory, about to break down mentally. And I don't think this is a setup for candidacy because he's creating too many enemies that he would need to vote for him. If it is a candidacy, is one that's destined to fail. And so I just see a man who's self-sabotaging because you don't have to say everything that's on your mind. You can be a little bit more didactic, a little bit more, I don't know, just you don't have to express everything that's on your mind. He's just blurting out things now, and he's going back and forth. The George Floyd comments. He said that to promote a Candace Owens documentary. You know, but the toxicology never said those things.
Right.
He's just all over the place. I don't fear for him being killed. They're gonna kill him by taking his money. That's what they're gonna do. he's gonna be living on Skid Row. That's what's gonna happen to him.
So they got a lot of money to take from this guy.
he,
I mean, how do you break a billionaire?
you break a billionaire by making him spend. Because Kanye, I remember when he was getting his brand up, he was talking about how he had to spend over 30 million of his own dollars. This is before he was a billionaire to get going.
Right.
You know, and so a lot of his money is tied up in mutual investments with his wife. Once that divorce is over, maybe he's not so much of a billionaire. I don't know what his numbers are, but I won't go too much into it. I see the time is winding down,
Right.
but Kanye is self-sabotaging himself because he don't know when to shut up.
Yeah. No, it's really bad. You know, the self-sabotage angle is very plausible, but yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Jovi, he's kind of just all over the place. I don't have an opinion on him one way or the other. Nothing that Kanye does affects me. So when I'm in that boat, it's kind of like I don't give a shit, but I thought that all of this stuff was interesting, because it's been back to back with him and all these different places he's been showing up in and just putting his what seems like he's been putting his foot in his mouth, basically, But I know that we're getting close to the time running out, so it was just fun, for us to get to be able to share like kind of what we do before we end up recording. We'll have these kind of conversations all the time, just flying all over the place, and peeps kind of put me on the he put me out there to say like, man, we should be recording these, and I was like, you know what, yeah, we should. I don't know why we not recording these. People get to see, I guess, some behind the scenes stuff, So the three of us are going to get going, so we can actually do some real recording, you know. But before we get up out of here, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button, hit the playlist option. These type of shows end up being in a playlist called reaction show, or reaction shows. So you'll find this and anything else that's just us shooting the breeze or commentary about something social, or anything like that. So there's that. Um, we do have other playlists. A lot of that stuff is music based, but we do some other things, as you can see. So go through the playlist, check out everything possible. Cash App, $ you made Roscoe, PayPal at you made Roscoe for those who like to show their support, their appreciation. Any donations, you're going to make them at one of those two spots at the bottom of the screen. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We don't have a lot of time for y'all to give like a final rebuttal or anything. So, I'm going to say bye for Jovi and Peeps. Bye. We'll see y'all soon. And until next time, be safe and be good.